أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Inshallah ta'ala, following on from the Teen Talk album that I've just created, right? I think there was a reason that I wanted to actually jump on that. Essentially, it's something that I've actually wanted to address, but I've been very hesitant because even though I've got some qualification and some background, it's quite an in-depth topic, and I'm not really sure if I should address it. But I think after especially having spoken to one sister in particular for quite a length, I think it's something that if there's anything that I can share, inshallah ta'ala, then I should, and it could possibly help, inshallah. Brief background obviously is that I have done mental well-being for children and and young people, and I've also just done, like kind of as a what's it called? I've done just a general course for just babies and young people workforce. That was a long while ago, about 10 years ago. But the mental health and well-being one I've done within the last 2 years. And alongside that, I actually, because I've worked for the Department of Education, is that I have got a requirement to be aware of the safeguarding protocol from the local council, the borough that I work for. So I'm aware of the situation, and then that ties in with the fact that obviously then you become aware of the circumstances, the current situation, and how it's impacting. And seriously speaking, it is actually having a very, very very, very serious, grievous and disastrous even effect on the mental health of our children, and there's statistics. It's not just statistics that I'm reading, it's statistics that we're being shown from what's happening around. There's an increase in attempted suicides. There's an increase in self-harm. So there's a whole host of things that are happening, and I just didn't want to, even though I've got that, I just still felt that that's not enough for me to be discussing this. But I think I still won't want to discuss on that so much. Obviously there are a lot of organisations in UK anyway, I know, like that, that you can actually contact if you think. And please, the first and foremost thing is that if you are thinking that there is some sort of a need for help, a cry for help, please do not shy away. Get the help. Early intervention is the key. That is one thing that you got to understand, that if you see yourself or your child, especially teenage years, but sadly it's becoming younger ages that are affected as well, the early intervention is going to help them to kind of make sense of it all, and inshallah walk away with the least damage to them in the long term. So that is key. What I will do, inshallah ta'ala, is in the comment or in the edit post, is I will try to add as many of the organisations that do work with children that can help, inshallah ta'ala. So I made a couple of notes because I was thinking that I'm going to, so I'll do that. Now there's a whole host of things that are affecting it. Obviously the anxiety of the current climate, the fact that children can't have that social interaction that they're used to having, that's affecting their mental well-being. The fact that they're cooped up, the fact that there's family issues that are happening within the homes, and they're now having to constantly deal with that. They're having to face it all the time. There's no escape. School was a means of escape for a lot of children, and now that's no longer there, or it's minimal, or even if it is open, there's cases when there is a positive case, then the whole bubble has to go into self-isolation, which means obviously that affects that child. And we've actually had a whole group that went to self-isolation, came back, touched base, 2 days later they're back again because somebody in that day showed again, and then so all the children that were within that period and that and then they had to go back, so that was 4 weeks for them out. Obviously the balance is there, that is it safe to open schools, and that's not a discussion I want to do right now. But that there is a need, because obviously those children need to get away from that turbulent home life. And then you have the serious situations where there is a lot of abuse going on, and now there's no escape, and they are constantly under that, which obviously is going to increase their mental distress. And then you just have where it's like the normal alhamdulillah safe family life. However, the effects and the stresses of this lockdown, of the anxiety of this virus, and just not being able to socialise the way you would, and that is all having an effect. The constant worry of being unsure of what's happening. So this is where we need to, as parents and adults, is focus on the way we are actually interacting with the children. We are obviously adults are equally anxious about what's going on and what's happening, but we need to be a bit more focused and responsible, and understand that our children are watching, and what we're saying is that they're feeding off that. And if we sit there fretting all day long, that's exactly what they're going to feed off. So we need to be very, very careful of the amount of anxiety that we show, and the first and foremost thing is to turn that news off. You won't be as anxious as you will after watching 1 hour of the news, and that's just 1 hour. So imagine if you've got the news on the background all day long. There's no difference in the news, right? And the way that this has been managed is clearly obvious that anything they're going to tell on the news is useless anyway. So save yourself that anxiety, save yourself that stress, and turn the news off, and either kind of put something light. It's not about ignorance is bliss, no, because what they're telling us is nonsense anyway. So change that distraction, change the topic, change this environment of the house, and let yourself thrive, and let your children thrive of this time, rather than looking at it so negatively. Try to turn the tables around and think, what, actually, inshallah, this phase will go. And inshallah ta'ala, we will come out of this lockdown. Inshallah ta'ala, we will come out of this difficult phase. But we can actually use this time as a time for building relations and being close, etc., etc. It's really in our hands how we use this time. So whereas the rat race is always constantly working, and then coming home, touching base, making dinner, within 1 hour you're back into bed, and then you're waking up, you're and then the rat race starts again every single day. Spending half the life in traffic, half this, half that. That kind of, if you think of it, that maybe Allah has removed that. Bismillah. That maybe Allah has removed that, and that now we've got this time that we can actually sit down and slow down and reconnect with the stuff that's important, and that means with the family, as well as spirituality, as well as friends as well, and kind of having a deeper look into the way you're living, what are the changes that you can do, what are the benefits of this, because the media is going to make it look very, very negative. Obviously it's a scary time, like, don't obviously, if those that what I've been through in March, and it was very, very difficult, so it's not something easy, but it's just that we've got to make the positive out of it. We've got to look after, we've got to educate ourselves of what we can do, and then kind of try to put the focus on the positive aspects. The negative is there. We know what's there. We know already this is the situation, and dwelling on that is not going to help at all. And it's mind over matter now. We've got to make it into, If we do that, then we can actually feed the children. Are going to pick up our energy. So when our energy is calm, and when we are calm, then and we're going towards the being relaxed, then our children are going to feed off that, inshallah ta'ala. And we've got to make it vocal as well at points. You might feel it, but the children will still. So we've got to make it vocal and let them know the fact that no, Allah's got it in His hand. And this then obviously again connects to the fact that we've got to raise the taqwa level. And this is, and now if you think about it, from March to now, this is a solid 6 months, and in that time, the amount of connection and the amount of reliance on AllahSubhanaWaTa'ala that we can actually help the children attain. We're always saying that, oh, they're bombarded with this and bombarded with that, but right now they can be bombarded with information that we give them, inshallah ta'ala, so we can utilize that. And the other thing that we need to kind of really, really, really understand is that we don't put pressure on them. Please don't put pressure on the children. I know obviously the education is very, very, very important. I obviously am very much into, that children need to be well educated, and that's the only reason how they will have a voice that is heard. For me, that is the most important factor. The fact that the way the world works is, if you're well educated, then your voice will be heard. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's the way the nizam is. So we want our children to kind of have that their opinion matters, inshallah ta'ala, and may they be tools of for Islam's service, inshallah ta'ala. So it is crucial, definitely it's crucial, but there's a time and place for it. When the whole world is kind of almost in this bubble of fear, and you are going through that as well, to then kind of bombard your child with an added addition that they must do this, they must attain this, they must attain that, then understand that you are adding to their pressure, you're adding to their anxiety, you're adding to that. So where they've not got the social circle, where they've not got their school environment, they've not got that release from, as much as your relationship is absolutely wonderful and awesome and with the children, but they still need that kind of thing where they go and they come back, that that kind of natural process of them going to school, coming back, and then meeting you, etc., etc. That none of that is there. None of that is there at all. That whole routine of waking up, getting ready, going to school, meeting your friends, walking back home, chilling with your friends, laughing, having a banter with the teacher, all of that is removed, and all that's left is just the absolute hardcore education factor. And if we then drum that into them and make it difficult for them, it is really going to, they might put a very strong, brave face and not let you see the fact that how it's affecting them, but it is. And to be honest, if you then mull over the hours, in my previous role I used to be the attendance officer as well, so we had this scale of, like, in the whole year, the children, how many hours do they actually come to school, and how many hours do they actually have education in. So if you think that, oh, son or child, you're not going to school now, so you're going to do from 9 o'clock till 3 o'clock, you're going to do work in that time, and you make them not budge from their desk for that time, understand that you're telling them to do something that they wouldn't actually normally do anyway, because their lesson would be hardly like out of a 45-minute lesson, they're going to sit down and probably do 30 minutes. Out of that, they're probably solidly going to do 20 minutes of studying, and then the rest is going to be a bit of like talking, discussion, etc., etc. So every subject that you've got, like that you want your child to be focused on, obviously education is still important, I'm not going to say that don't, but then understand that the 20 minutes of solid work is what they need. So don't go for the fact that you're going to go from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and in that you've got 6 hours, and I want you to do the 6 hours, and in that math, English, science, etc., etc. No, understand that the solid education is going to be 20 minutes, and then add a break, and then add this and add that. So make it light, make it something that they will actually look forward to, make it something that they will actually, obviously when it's when it's school, this is for holidays, when it's school days, the school's already going to have a set of a plan anyway, right? And you don't need to go too much further than the plan that they've got. Maybe an additional few books just for the child, and then like kind of in a gentle coaxing way, say, honey, look, the fact that the school is out and you're not getting the full education the way that you are supposed to getting it, so maybe like touch on this topic and that topic, and then, you know, have your PlayStation, have that break, and then go back, and then you have a banter with your friends, or do this and etc. And then in that, make sure you add time for them to do art, time for them to do a story, you know, like what movie did you watch, what game did you play. Add in, you know, English lesson can be that they can just add in and write down about what the favourite character of the game is. uh, um, and other ways to promote their from that going on to their well-being is do creative stuff together. So have a food technology lesson, do that together. Have various, you know, jigsaws and puzzles, games. So this will go right from nursery. Well, no, preschool. Obviously, the topic is just going to be a bit more lighter. But this aspect of the promoting the well-being, you can do throughout to the teenage, to young people. Even I mean, the young people now that are regarded is actually up to age of 25. Really, I mean, you'll be surprised, but that's the age that's regarded as young people, that they actually need support. So don't think that if your child is this certain age and that's it, your hands are washed from them, regardless of how difficult sometimes it can be. But you know, like, kind of promote that family time. Have a time where the family will kind of come together. If some of them are absolutely refusing to, then whoever will come, just let them know that the option is there. And then in that time, discuss any anxieties, but don't dwell on them. So just touch base and note down what they've said, and then work your way around how you can actually offer that support. If it's something that's a bit intense, then obviously contact professionals, and understand that we've got this worry that if you contact professionals, it becomes something that it doesn't. They're there to support you. They are there to make sure. The law has changed. There was a time with astaghfirullah that was very dangerous and very, you know, and but that has been addressed. And then now the thing is to actually make sure that the unit, the family unit, is what's promoted at, and how much the support is towards keeping the whole family as close knit, etc., as possible. But yeah, going back to the fact, the well-being, so you've got options of, there's a lot of work art books where, like, geometry kind of art where you colour in, and or just like picking up a new hobby, sewing, crochet, knitting. Children, boys and girls. Honestly, a needle and a thread is not going to cost you that much money. Sit there supervising them. And needles, you can get very different sizes as well, so it doesn't have to be a very thin, you know, for the younger lot. And you can sit with them, and then they can have a few stitches. That's not going to cost you anything, really, is it? A needle, knitting needles and a yarn is not going to cost you that much. Have a YouTube video, sit there, have fun trying to figure out how to make something. And that all actually helps the mind calm down. It helps the cognitive skills to be developed. It helps the brain development. All this will help in the well-being. Any new skill that you kind of focus on, go for walks together, go at a time when it's less quiet, go to areas where it's less quiet if you're worried about the virus, and wear your face mask, etc. Keep your social distancing, but take the children out, encourage them to go out. It is very, very important. Ensure that the supplements, etc., that they're having, make sure that they're having their, you know, additional supplements. Vitamin D is crucial in this to combat this. The weakness of the body is kind of going to make it more difficult to fight off the virus as well, astaghfirullah. So it's a whole host of things that you can do to make sure that there is a calmness within the house, so that yourself and your child are not getting, you know, affected by the effects of this lockdown. And an open conversation with them, and letting them know that if they've got anything to say, you are there to listen to them. Whether you have an answer for them or not, that's something else, but just let them know that they can share their problems with you. And when they do talk to you, make sure that they know that from the whole entire world, their words and their attention is precious to you. that at the minute that they say they want to say something, and if you are tired, if you are let them know, honey, I'm tired at this moment, you know, give me 5 minutes or give me this, then I really want to listen to you. And obviously this is going to work with older children, but with not younger children. And with younger children, you you know, just sit them on your lap and just kind of talk, and you know, like kind of 2 minutes worth of conversation, and a kiss and a cuddle and a tickle, and you know, that's it. Don't let them ever feel that they can't come to you because you're tired. Don't, because that one rejection is going to scar them. Honestly, we need to understand that our one negative interaction can scar them for life. Whether that's just a small thing or whether that is something major, they will feel rejected. That we know when I want, because for them that was a very, very emotional time that they needed to come and speak to you. They wanted to come and relay some information to you, and you need to understand that they have come to you. And if you're tired, if you're exhausted, they don't know that. They know that that's mommy or that's daddy, and we want to share our worries with them. Don't let them ever think that that door is closed. And inshallah ta'ala, as they get older, you need to help them understand that far and above yourself, and then your support that you can offer is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That in life, whatever they face, sometimes it'll be something that you don't have an answer to, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so when they come to you, always direct and divert the conversation to how that their taqwa in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is raised. Make sure that you're reading the stories of the prophets, you know, and make sure that you're kind of always bringing them little bits of information where that you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can see, and you know, like we have this beautiful story of the Gruffalo, you know, but then and that is such a popular story, but you can kind of turn and change that, and then you know, where the Prophet Luqman story, where where he advised the children of that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of his to his son, sorry, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the secrets of the heavens and the earth, and in the deep jungle, and the deep and the dark the rock is there, and underneath the rock is a creature, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is well aware of that. So you can mix and merge these stories. So when you're reading the Gruffalo, and you can start talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're reading this story and you can start talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every single thing that every single book that you pick up, there is, if you start focusing on it, there is a point where you will be able to take that and take it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you know, honey, this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you, and this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you. These are the things that will hopefully inshallah ta'ala embed in them, that when any troubles come, that they know that they have a supreme being who is looking out for them. It is crucial, because at times when they might feel, no matter how much supportive you've been to them throughout your whole life, they might feel that I can't go to mommy or I can't go to daddy. They need to know that then they actually do have a Rabb that they can actually turn to. And even if they kind of, you know, distance from that, something will then pull them towards that again and again, inshallah ta'ala. That God consciousness has to be, inshallah, will help them kind of drive back to that, inshallah ta'ala. I'm going to have to stop because this is getting past way the time that I thought I would be recording. But inshallah ta'ala, again, you know, if there is any worry, if there is anything, there's a lot of charities that you can contact anonymously, and they will give you the support that you need. Please don't suffer. Don't think it's just you that's going through it. It's just common now. It's actually probably more common than it's not, where you're facing difficulties, and this is happening, and this is happening. There's a lot of ground that I need to cover, inshallah ta'ala, even from personal experience, you know, but in good time, inshallah. But yeah, inshallah ta'ala, I hope this will kind of help somehow. I'll probably do another where I can kind of focus on the well-being aspect and what things can help. And inshallah ta'ala, if there is any, like, you know, thing that you think I can cover, then please let me know, inshallah ta'ala, and I'll try to do that, inshallah ta'ala. Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us and for our children, inshallah ta'ala. It is such a difficult time. It's such, I don't want to dwell on it, and I don't want to focus on it, but it's such a difficult time, honestly. It's actually quite, you know, hearing what's happening around and how children are struggling. please just go easy on them. Just don't be harsh on them. Lower the tone, lower the harshness, just eliminate the harshness. There is no need for harshness at this moment. If you've had to raise your voice at your child for anything, if you've had to understand that saying sorry is not below you, it's not something that's going to harm you, giving them a hug and saying, honey, I was stressed and I was actually wrong, I'm really sorry about that, and I need you to forgive me, just the way that sometimes I think you need to seek forgiveness from me, and I want to make it better, inshallah ta'ala. I want you to tell me how I can help you. It will go a long way in helping building your relationship and helping building your child. And don't think the fact that the damage that has been done or anything that in the heat of the moment that you've said that can't be reversed. It can be reversed, but you just have to kind of really work at it and inshallah keep calm and hope that inshallah, and make dua, lots and lots of dua, and let your child know that actually one thing that when my children were kind of growing, I put my hands up and I said, honey, you know what, I've never been a parent to this age children. I've never done that before, so I'm really trying. Obviously, for me it was kind of, you know that my kids are much older. So it was a bit of a, early journey for me. But yeah, it's just that you put your hands up and say that, honey, you know what, actually I actually don't know, and I'm just trying my best, and if I've got it wrong, I can only apologise, and I'm trying to kind of make sure that I make, so that helps them understand the fact that actually mummy's on a journey as well, and we're on a journey, and we're learning together, and we're kind of trying to overcome this, and it's not going to be a weakness in you. You don't have to be that we think the statue of resolve, and that it's actually it's humbling as well. And it kind of helps to give them a little bit of actually it's fine, I'm not, and gives them a little bit of strength as well, that they can actually be a bit more stronger for mummy, inshallah ta'ala, in a positive way, not that they have that responsibility thrown on them, but just the fact that actually we can do this together. I think there's no harm in that as well, inshallah. But definitely letting them know that you are there for them, and their well-being is the utmost importance for you, rather than anything else. Anything else, if there's reports about to come and they're anxious, let them know that, what, actually, honey, all I want to see is that you are listening when we're sitting down and making a plan, and you're trying to follow it, and you're giving it your best, and that's it. Once I know that the plan that we're making is, we're going to sit down and make a plan together, and that in that plan is going to be making sure that your play is equally important, your relaxation time is equally important, and there's a balance in it. But once we've done that, I want you to try to honour that to your best. If you can't, obviously it'll be days we'll slip, and then I just want you to give your best shot. That's it. And even then, even then, if they've given their best shot, then definitely you don't even show like, oh, I was just saying it, I didn't mean it. No, that's fine. That support can make them the next, when, for example, you've given them that support and then the results come low, they will feel that need that, oh, actually I want to improve. They will have that ownership then, that actually, I want to work harder, I want you to get a better result. That's then putting the ownership back on them, rather than them just thinking that, oh, I'm doing this for mum or dad, inshallah ta'ala. Well, I'll leave it at that, because it's gone a lot longer now, inshallah ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless, Allah, inshallah ta'ala. I hope that this is beneficial, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah accept. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.